the modern era, with global communications and technology that's supposed to be more intelligent than human beings to save human beings from self-destructive behaviors and self-destructive addictions and stuff, is radically different than where you came from. I connected to Michael Jackson's daughter when I was out there sunning. I was really uncomfortable for the first five songs, because you can feel my body and stuff like that, and it doesn't really, it's uncomfortable, yeah, but it's not horrifically painful. No, it's just the body trying. It's like a river. You just try to clean the body out, clean the river out, and then the ecosystem's healthy again. I have a very unique body. More people, die from the conditions they put me from. They shut down and they die. And they had this professional talking about how the slow food's going slow through the colon and stuff, and they tell you what's happening to your body, and they're going to go in there and they're going to cut it up and they're going to abuse it and they're going to get it to adapt. It fixes itself like a river. When the river's clean, it does its thing. When you keep putting pollution in the river, it becomes sick, and then all the things that make the river sick die off, then the river heals, right? Like a river, our love has flown, and that's the way you got to get across. We were talking; it was a very good conversation. She said, and I said, well, what's probably happening is, we're trying to have a conversation in prayer, but it's being monitored by the fuckers at NASA. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much what's happening too. So I'm like, yeah, but it was very charming, and she was very kind and complimentary and very mature, and it was a nice conversation, and she told me she likes Joe Johnson's "You Talk Too Much." I said, I know your dad, I believe you. I was like, yeah, I believe you. She was very charming, and she said, younger girls could like you because of what you said, what happened to keep, women apart from you, like what happened with Natalie's family, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. I understand that. It still doesn't make it any less uncomfortable for myself because of how much I love women and how much I want them to enjoy, their partner. And, I prefer, like Saladin told me in Sierra Vista, yeah, we need you to go out there and make more husbands for my daughters, make sure there's more husbands for my daughters. I understand completely because, how much we, 17, we fell in love, high school, how we want to meet the girl of our dreams, not, going and getting used by the senior at the college when she's a junior in high school. You guys are all jerks and we're all jerks, and okay. You know what I'm saying? And then so when I came in the house, she said, of all the women that they put into hell that wanted out, that might be the best fit for you, it might be Max and Emmy's mom. And I said, yeah, I kind of understand that, and I probably might be more inclined to agree. She says, she's probably the strongest and the healthiest physiologically to survive all the physical abuse they inflict on poor people, and then emotionally she's probably the strongest to be able to survive all, because she was working on trying to shut down a lot of the shit that you when you were in Cochise County. And I said, yeah, that's very mature observation and expression of that. So she's a really cool young lady. I was she knows how much, I love everybody, but she knows that I like her dad, and that her dad was in a really horrible situation, and gosh, and we shit, there's a lot of deep stuff to connect to, like genetic engineering. That was all the rage, was to genetically engineer your kids so they would be perfect and they wouldn't be abused. And Michael, and they tell you all the right things, the genetic engineers, the professionals that want to make money off of your gullibility and all your fears and and so, we'll genetically engineer these kids. They'll be uber talented, uber sexy, uber great, uber amazing, right? And they don't tell you about the cost on the emotional aspect of the kids and how it affects them psychologically, mentally, and emotionally. That we're literally like being engineered to be a super race and destroy all the fat fans and people that love us off the face of the planet because they're fat and disgusting and feeding their face and taking up space. So the emotional load and the emotional content of all that stuff. And she goes, she was sitting there thinking I'm kind of fortunate because, I didn't have that thing. It's like, we were having a conversation. I don't know about that, baby. So I'm just real good at, other people, they go in, they're like moths to a flame and they go into the flame. And I realize, that'll burn your ass up. And I get the fuck away from it, And it's like, but I don't want to be a moth to the flame. I'm a human being, right? And so the greatest flame is the faith of Moses. And that's me. And this little light of mine, I got a lot. And that's the kind of talk that we had. And she goes, it's just amazing the resiliency you have to hell. Because heaven is lived lovingly, truthfully, and faithfully on earth, So it is amazing, but it's really not, because it's just basically common sense. If you aren't a moth attracted to the flame, And so, I avoided being a celebrity, doing all the things we talked about. I'm not making this shit up. All I had to do was just focus on what I wanted to do, and I didn't have to excess or compulse on it. I just had to be around the right people. And I was better. All the things that they talk about now with athletics and athletic training, and and the whole thing with the arc under the basket. That was me getting in trouble because I was got from Jimmy Oliver and Manny Treviso and Whitey Kaufman. I won't run under there, and everybody does that to me, and I won't do it to others. I'll find different ways to win the game, but I won't do things that will physically disable the other guy to win. So, that was their big thing, was run under the basket and draw charges from people. And I was like, no, I can do it. I'm not going to. Because everybody does it to me, and they'll judo flip you, and they'll laugh, and it's horrible. Well, if it's in the rules, I know, make the ref make the call. No, fuck you. I'm not. And I used to tell Manny Treviso that all the time. I am not going to hurt. If I'm making a decision where I could get myself hurt because I want to win, that's one thing. But where I can hurt other people's children so you can win the game and get the job that makes more money at New Mexico State, no, I won't do it. I told him that numerous times. And so he thought I was this cocky, arrogant son of a bitch. It's like, if you think my mom's a bitch and you think we're arrogant, fuck you. Fuck you. That's all I got to say about that. Okay. And if you don't like it, all you church ladies can go fucking grab a dildo of John Holmes's dick from Castle Boutique and fuck yourself till you can't walk. I don't give a damn. Fuck you. Manny Treviso, Jimmy Oliver, Whitey Kaufman, fuck you. The generals and the goddamn fucking chaplain from Fort Bliss, you judge people. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you twice on Sunday. The asshole that worked with mass murderers and you're an idealist and you get people killed. Fuck you. And that little cocky assassin with his goddamn gun that came in to mock me, your religious beliefs are selfish. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. And then when we talked about, and I talked to my dad about things earlier, about all this culmination of these events. And I didn't go back and talk to him because he was taking a nap. But when you're given free will by the essence of existence, okay, you have free will, as you would perceive it, to do as you wish with this beautiful life, okay? But you don't have free will when it comes to the majesty of worship. You don't, okay? You don't have free will there. You have no other choice. And so people think you see it as a totalitarian dictatorship. No, you have to have faith in God. You have to believe in the Lord. You have to understand eternity. You have to obey the laws to maintain eternity through holy covenants and faithfully whatever. There is no choice. You have to do it to live in heaven. Okay. So you have no choices. It's the will of the essence of existence. It's obvious. A dog could figure it out. These idiots could figure it out if they could talk without shoving their, I don't know. I'm not just talking about the faces on the ad. I'm talking about the assholes that are putting together the ad. They think they're paid for Choice Freedom Inc. Okay, live the Lord's Prayer. Choose that. Freedom from your delusions. Freedom from your addictions. Freedom from your abuses. Me and Paris Jackson would appreciate the living fuck out of it. Okay. the living fuck out of it? Yeah, we get all the fuck out. Like with Jesus when I was in labor. Beat the shit out of him. Beat the hell out of him. Oh, beat the hell out of him. Yeah, that works. Jesus, okay. I will do that. And if nothing else works, beat the hell out of him. Okay. Life's Eternal and Grace Symphony. Can do, Jesus. Can do. Right. Okay. Good. Tucson got all that rain. Not that it's really that, important or whatever and stuff. Why? Because they're still fucking with the ecosystem, and when things are doing certain things, it's like the little Dutch boy sticking his finger in the dike, and she's saying, "Get your finger out of there! I'm a dyke." Oh, you're a lesbian, like that joke from the guy at the Showtime at the Apollo, sitting there. Girl comes and says, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "Man, I went to the club the other night, and this lady was the best looking lady in the whole club. I went up and asked her, can I dance with you?" And she looked at me, gave me a look, and said, "What's all that about?" She said, "Well, I'm a lesbian." I said, "Well, what?" She goes, "A lesbian." He goes, "What's that?" She goes, "That means I like to, and that I'm attracted to and like to have sex with women." He started crying. She said, "What's okay, honey? It's all right. It's just I'm a lesbian. It's not like you're gonna die or nothing." He goes, "No, I told this time all my life I didn't know I was a lesbian too." Shit. It's funny. Okay, what do you know? It's funny. I thought it was funny. Dr. Rick wouldn't tell that on TV. You don't talk that way in front of people. You don't talk that way in front of people. You'll be in trouble. You don't talk that way, but then you go get drugs and you roofie this bitchy model who won't fuck you because you gain sexual access to her because of money and debt and trespass. Okay. Bill Cosby would have never had sex with Beverly Johnson. Okay. Because she would never showed up at his house to get roofied if you guys were living the truth of the Messiah. Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. Okay. So when you cause the conditions for a safe community and you're doing a great work and you're building a wall around the city, all right, make the wall, okay, no longer physical. Make it spiritual. Okay. I told you I like this young lady. This young lady. Yeah, it was pretty cute. She said that. She goes, "I think a lot of the girls, I think probably Blue Ivy caught her, and a lot of those girls, when we go back and we look at those videos and the one in the bathroom at Fort Huachuca, we're all crushing on you." Okay. You're beautiful and you're gorgeous. There's nobody more beautiful, strong, and gorgeous talking on the internet, And then we watch them destroy you physically with their jealous perversion and their sickness. They're horrible. And I'm like, how is this past, present, future working at the same time with you as it is with me? You're really cute. I really like, I'm getting a lot of the love I have from, I was getting there, Paris Jackson, like I used to say to Natalie, I love you the way I love Miriam and Edna and Michelle. And if you understand what a compliment that is, and so, and I'm getting a lot of that Natalie from Paris. I like her. I really like her. Pull my fingernails out of her fans. I really like her. Little bird in the cinnamon tree. Dulcinea. Dulcinea. My family. Yeah, when people are manipulated and they're afraid, my family's very much, I'm only thinking of him, and I know that. And they have adjusted and changed. And I know it was just because of the fact that I can correct technology, and the people they go to church with and the people they work with can't fuck with me as much. And I understand that. But it doesn't make them any less sinful or any more sinful than anybody else. They're just in a difficult situation. They're confused, they're abused, they have brain damage, and they're scared. Okay. And they don't like me, have me to talk to every day. When you have the guy that's like Jesus every day to talk to, and you pray to Jesus every day, and you read Constantine Jerome's book, because she talked about that. What if a young girl did want to marry Jerome? No, I know. Jerome was involved in elitism and economics and usury and idolatry. And he said, no, okay, that's not the case. But I can understand, okay, a teenage girl wanting to be protected emotionally and sexually by the best guy in the whole world. I can understand that. I could understand a 13-year-old girl watching these videos and say, I want to be loved by you and nobody else but you. But I just have to say, but I'll make sure that all the young men are behaving like me as mass rapido as I can. I just would not want to do that to you young ladies. When that kind of stuff was happening to me years ago because of all the abuse and wanting to survive physically and get the affection and the sexuality that I deserved for not just now, but for probably over 10,000 years. Because, we keep walking and we get these little pockets and there's like, you ever seen that goofy ass movie with Mel Gibson's ego called Braveheart? And they try to get away and and then the asshole comes and kills his wife because he didn't get a fucker first, right? Because they're supposed to. And so it's because it's horrible. That's how fuckers are. And so me being a lover, I when I got back in the thing was hanging the towel up and she said, this lady might be the best option for you. It's like, yeah, I kind of get that. I understand. Yeah, options. Yeah, she's cute. No, I've understood that, and I understood a lot of people are leaning that way, and I think it was just basically to get me to go to one side of the genocidal group instead of the other. And the right-wing conservatives, they really didn't have a real viable option. They're kind of mean, snotty church ladies who think I'm a pervert. Where Jennifer gets put in really disgusting conditions and then feels like a pervert. When I say I felt like a pervert because of the things they studied in the difficult situations, Jennifer gets it and goes, I felt that way too. Because when we had talks, she goes, my body's not real comfortable because of all the abuse, and so I feel about every of my biological functions. And she said, are you kidding? You're the Messiah. All I can think about is I gotta pee. I gotta pee. I'm going to pee my pants. It's literally like, she goes, if you meet him, and that was when I was more physically appealing, and you think, I don't know if I could be with him. I think I'd pee myself all the time, like Leonard with and Zach with the beans and Penny on the Big Bang Theory. I just peed. It's like, it's okay, it happens, baby. Yeah, but no, it happens with all of us. We're all human. And when women have babies, it's my mom, and Amy, and this is fun. It's not fun for me. I've had 5 babies pouncing on this thing, and I will pee, right? And everybody's, well, get your life back and all that. Well, we make sure that pregnancy is much more healthy for all women, not just women that have what you call money-based fucking murdering healthcare, right? And we need to make sure that extremist things are overrated, going in crazy apparatuses for amusement parks because we have a bunch of extremists that are doing things like, okay, why are you doing that? Well, because I like the adrenaline rush. Have a breathless kiss and a good 3-day weekend with a young woman who enjoys sexual reproduction with you, but try not to keep her barefoot and pregnant. Yeah. See how cute they are? They're so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. They're so pretty. They're so cute. They're having fun. They're spiking the balls in each other's faces. They will spike it off your face. Trust me. They used to do that to me at Mayfield all the time. Okay. And they would laugh. It's not funny. Well, you shouldn't jump so high. It's like, we're just having fun. Yeah, but I want to have fun too. So they spike it off my face. Yeah, they were cute. No, if you don't want to get ball spiked, don't jump so high. Me and Waylon Robinson used to always do that and jump up and down to look at each other above the volleyball nets. We'd jump real high, we'd sit there and jump, and we weren't showing off. We were just being teenage boys, but lots of people can do it. The girls can get up. Rita Crockett used to get her armpits and her Flo Hyman was 6'7" or something like that, and Rita was 5'9", and they used to both jump together, and it was like Dina Williams with Kimmy. Her armpit was where Flo Hyman's head was. I mean, she could fly like the little girl at the Jerry Curl from, I think it was 71st High School at the Pope Air Force Base Gym. That little girl could fly. She could jump. She was like Danny Bennett. I just throw her lobs. It was cute. She'd just give me that little, like Betsy, it's how good basketball players are. It's more of a body language. You're very covert and you're not overt. And she would just give me the little roll of the eyes and the turn of the head, and okay, She's going back door there, and I would just throw the lob up, and she'd go get it. And it totally made the guys trying to guard her feel totally emasculated. Right? So you throw the ball up, and she would just go. It's like, everybody's got a thing, but some they don't know how to handle it. Right? We're just exercising. Okay? Everybody, we're living the Lord's Prayer. Everybody can put their peaches in the basket, and you don't have to be part of this crazy, insane stuff that they do to my people to make them feel that they have to pay extortion to live here and be exploited by their technology. Okay? You can save that man from a life of torture being passed on to his family, like the same thing with old Elon Musk and his daddy with the uranium in South Africa, right? Doing like they do don't make it right? So keeping up with the Joneses and fighting with the other fuckers doesn't make fucking love, right? So it's not love that makes a Subaru, okay? It's love that saves us from selling and buying Subarus and killing each other with invention. That's what love is, yeah. I have a crush on Mickey Howard. I do have a crush on Mickey Howard to some strange way. I know she'd probably be a lot like Peggy Pettis. This woman drive me crazy. I gotta leave. Jesus, you can leave her, okay? Guys, don't feel bad. Most women that have gone through this hell, and I talk to them and they listen to stuff, most of them I get like, okay, you have this feeling like, it'd be fun to have affection and sexuality, and then they keep talking. It's like, okay, this brain damage thing is, whoa, I hope the Aggies can play well against Florida State. That would be kind of fun for them, but we'll see how it works out for them, as long as we're doing stupid things, the kids, my thing is before every game, especially with Marvin's kiddos, is, when they would go, I would just pray that they travel safely and that all this economic insanity doesn't kill these guys like, Marshall and, Wichita State and other things, the teams that they go and they travel and there's a mishap with the travel, and these young men, because of exploitation or extortion, end up dying physically. Oh no, is that dinghy-bat little goofy Tiffy Haddish? Does she get incarcerated for the driving under the impairment stuff? That goofy little girl. It's hard. This was a good connection with little Miss Paris Hilton, especially with things about genetic engineering. And we did talk about the things that, the genetic engineering causes problems because it's a genocidal operation of trying to invent a master race of human beings. And this has been something, this isn't new under the sun. This is something that's been happening since the times of the Fountain of Youth and Bizarro and this is something that human beings have been insidiously doing, to try to fuck since, before Willem Wallace, and you see what I'm saying? Trying to genetically engineer the master race. Like that dumbass character from Chuck Lorre's and Bill Parody's, schizophrenic, psychopathic little fucking brains, and we're holding food hostage, we're selling drugs, and it's fucking nuts. And it does, I do feel sorry for the little Hayden girl. So I always thought she was really adorable. And I totally adored her in Remembering the Titans. Her character was hilarious. Because the two daughters, the one knows football upside down, the other one's a little girl and wants to be a little girl and hates being at the football game. It's totally funny, man. It was hilarious, right? And and you're sitting there, watching and stuff, and it's just, but there's a sadness to it, but then there's also an earned income credit to it, because what you accept is what, it's Blaise Pascal's triangle. It's understanding eternity scientifically and mathematically, like all major religions have in their documentation, but it's made into a magical mystery tour instead of explaining science. They've known this for you know it, and when you look at the caves and what they understand it, because past, present, and future operate at the same time. They're just insane. So there's no sane, lucid, or rational forms of understanding, communication, and affection and kindness. It's all just crazy fucking shit on repeat. It just keeps repeating itself. Just Book of Amos, there you go. One of the best gospels to explain it is the Book of Amos. When the Spirit of the Lord talks to the spirit of Amos and says, and they'll do it again, and they'll keep doing it again. And when's it going to stop? Like it says in Daniel, and it says in the other ones. Here's what's happening in Revelation. When's it going to stop? When the devil tries to eliminate God by using technology and invention to pretend to be omnipotent, and this craziness, and and then the technology has to work on application of physics, truth, to sane existence, and something like that. So that's when the technology will have to be used by the Messiah to save us from the devil and Satan and their sin, because if they could stop their sin, they obviously would. Okay, so because you see these people talking, and there's you can tell by the way they present themselves and stuff like that. There's an emotional and mental. It's like watching Stephen A. Smith and Shane Hannity and all these people and the Dr. Romney, and they're talking, and you can see all the same physical characteristics. This little girl, you see just a lot of pain and suffering she wants to end. Okay, she just wants it to end. So finally, she, like Marilyn Monroe, ended it. Okay. But the thing, like I explained to my little Amy Sue, was it doesn't end. Okay. You can't kill yourself and get off the planet. You can't disconnect from the eternity of, we're all connected in spirit. You can't do that. Okay. So what you have to do is get it right. Okay. The majesty of worship. All right. You don't have choices and free will when it comes to worship. You have to obey the beauty and the amazingness of, like that atheist said on that atheist video, from the Jewish atheist guy from the atheist video I got at the library. He goes, we have this comfortable planet that is exceedingly rare, and we're given life on it, and it sustains itself, like I said to the kids in Islamic study class at ASU. Afterwards, with the Muslim kids living in their culture and their society and all the hell they've been through, and the American kids living in the bubble from 30 Rock and Michael Crichton, and the American kids, well, I'd believe in God if I was in Moses' days and there saw a guy sit there and part the Red Seas there and raise people from the dead there, then I would believe in God like they did back then. And I was like, so the atmosphere, the birds, the bumblebee, gorgeous women to have children with and love and have all you need to love them, that's not proof enough for you that there is something greater than ourselves that we have to worship to sustain our lives through loving? And all the Muslim kids are sitting there with their arms filled and going, he gets it. He understands what Muhammad was trying to tell us about Jesus. He gets it. Okay. These American kids, they're all Cecil B. DeMille mind-fucked with comic books, right? That's what they're like. But the Arab kids, the tribalism and the viciousness and the selfishness is so bad they can't ever overcome it. And if they attempt to overcome it, they end up, it's not the guy like on Syriana with George Clooney, with the guy who's in the limo, who's trying to save them all with the right way of right philanthropy and gets killed from outer space with a satellite through the guidance control missile systems. It's nobody like that. It's a guy like me. Okay. Nobody even knows you exist. You've got ego problems. We could run you over in the parking lot. It'll be if you didn't even exist. And you can't save Tiffany Haddish from her crazy fucking self. No, but Tiffy can. Tiffany Haddish can save herself from her crazy self. You're forgiving, doesn't trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. She doesn't feel like a big, giant money bag for mind-manipulating fucking perverts. She can save herself from this hell. And it can be in one generation. It could be in 6 months. Because you get out of rehab and you go, wow. You mean nobody's asking for money for the house, and we're not mass murdering the poor in El Paso and Denver anymore, and the air is clean because we got better than COVID protocols because we're doing it voluntarily instead of being forced to do it because we're psychotically destroying our own ecosystem through our own psychosis? I could live in a place like this without having drugs or alcohol or marijuana to try to make me forget about life for a while and sit here and listen to Billy Joel just sing far too long for far too wrong. I totally agree. And we've already recorded most of Ella Fitzgerald's library, right? And we have it on public domain. Okay, I'm good to go. Okay. Some Nancy Wilson, some Sarah Vaughan, some Johnny Hartman. You know, boy, they were sad a lot back then. Well, we weren't living the Lord's Prayer, and we were being fucked in the death by complete fucking assholes that give us this kind of propaganda instead of real love. And that's sad, because she's cute. And they're cute. They're a cute couple. They're cute. Okay, she shouldn't be doing this kind of insane bullshit for a bunch of insane bullshit artists. Right, because she's cute. Right? She's cute, isn't she cute? She's cute. She's very cute. Oh my gosh, she's cute. And her and Tom Holland would have cute kids, and if they take them and have them in England, they would have a British accent, and that would be cute. Okay, you're funny. I know. But can George Clooney pull his head out of his ass in time? The spirit of Rosemary compels you. And Bradley Cooper? I don't know. They're all pretty whacked out and insane, and they hang out in those crazy fucking buildings with those crazy fucking people that keep building those crazy fucking buildings. And the buildings, instead of getting better, get worse. It's like, I know. It's fucking crazy. And it doesn't seem to stop. I feel like I'm on crazy pills. They're always breakdance fighting and then destroying the evidence in the Apple and the iMac. It's crazy. And people feel like they're better friends with their dogs than their own spouse. Yeah, it's crazy. No, I don't feel like Zeke was a better friend to me than Amy or Stephanie ever was. I felt like me and Zeke were being abused by perverts, just like me and Amy and Stephanie. But Zeke, I could sit there and tell Zeke, you're my dog, not a fucking Marine's dog. Act right, you know. If I said that to my wife, I'm going to go fuck a Marine. Oh, son of a bitch, here we go again. You're an idealist and you get people killed. Your religious beliefs are selfish. I caught you on camera, and it was you. We stayed until it was over. Gonna tell Earl that I'm sorry for the pain that I caused. I'm not an impractical joker, and I'm not completely lost. That's why I say I like Ray Charles too. He's one of my 99 percentiles on SingStar. What you say? Oh woman, you're the meanest thing. You're the meanest thing I've ever done sing. I guess if you say so, I have to take my things and go. That's right, hit the road. See why I got offered the job as the DJ for the black guy? Thanks for calling Southwest Airlines. This is Earl. How can I help you? Okay. Guess what? We'll never have to book a flight again. We could stay on the ground our whole life. Never have to get in a mechanized invention that drops bombs on my uncle's family in Japan. Doesn't that sound absolutely beautiful to you? Does it really matter if I look like Dr. J or Barry Gibb? All right then. Well, that's love then. Don't take a picture of the unicorn. It really ain't there. Okay. Knock it off. Yeah. Your side effect is you're as crazy as all the fucker that believes people that believes money is real and needs drugs to sustain that. Okay. All righty then. All right, guys. I love you very much. All right. We'll talk later. Peace out.